My name is Ken O. I'm a public health specialist and health and fitness coach, Ken O. And one thing I would like to say about men, what does it mean to be a man? A man is defined by vision, purpose, vulnerability, accountability, and yes, speaking up. Don't keep quiet. If you're in the mat and the guys are striking the fire up, tell them to shoot it down. You need to speak up. You need to lead and leave a worthwhile legacy. Do what you're born to do. Live for what you're born to do. Find something you can die for and stick with it.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be watching us from. Of course, I am your coach and your friend, Robert Burale. And this is the best show in Eastern Central Africa, south of the Sahara, north of Limpopo, on your way to Busia Buhalalire. Of course, the All Men Show, a show that brings great men who have done many things that will inspire, motivate, and convict your heart into doing great and mighty things. We don't look for perfect men. We look for men who want to be better tomorrow than they are today. Today is no different, sorry. A great man, a man who has a lot of wisdom, knowledge. You have to hold on tight. In fact, I'll be doing him a lot of disservice if I even try to introduce him. Talk to us, sir. Look at the camera and tell us who you are.
Robert Burale, I thought you were the original coach.
I was your
365 with the coach. Anyway, my name is Ken O. I am a public health specialist. I work in the maternal, newborn, child health, water and sanitation programs, and I also am very passionate on health and fitness. I run a platform called FFP360, and there, through social media, YouTube channels, I'm able to interact with people to make sure that we are all mentally fit, physically fit, and socially fit. So I'm here to talk to you, and let's discuss about men, and you know, all men.
All men.
Ken O.
Oh, fantastic.
So, men, we are here.
So this is Ken O. Ken O on the All Men Show. Sir, tell us just a little bit about yourself. Who are you? You've told us what you do.
Yes.
Who is Ken?
Great question, Burale. So I am a father of 3.
Okay.
I have 2 boys, 1 girl. Maybe they're watching. And I have 1 wife. Just to be sure, 1 lovely wife.
It's good to confirm.
Yeah, very important.
Absolutely.
So that I also get to sleep home well. And,
Yes.
Yes, and I am a Christian at the same time.
Right.
And I love working out. I like hanging out with people, with men, with colleagues, with friends. And I really love family.
Okay.
And I'm also a patriot. I love this country.
Fantastic.
So that's all about me in
a nutshell.
Yes.
And fitness is a major thing. At some point, Coach Ken, fitness was just about appearing good in your suits and everything. But in this COVID time, fitness is such a necessity. It is so important. And you're a fitness freak anyway. So what is the importance? And there are men watching, and I've had friends who survived COVID, some who sadly did not survive. But there are 2 who survived, and they left, and the doctor said to them, you are so lucky you are physically fit. So there's a major part in fitness and of course our general health. Talk to us about it, especially in this COVID season. What should you tell men right now in as far as fitness is concerned?
That's a very good question and very important at this time. COVID-19 pandemic has actually exposed the soft underbelly of our healthcare systems, not just in Kenya, but globally.
Right.
You know, health is actually defined as the complete well-being of a person, physically, mentally, and socially, and not the mere absence of infirmity or disease.
Okay.
And that's how the World Health Organization defines health. And you find within this COVID-19 pandemic, we have been focusing a lot on, are we sanitizing, are we masking, are we staying at home? And in the middle of all that, people have neglected mental health and also social health. So in light of what you just said with the friends of viewers that survived, empirical studies show that the people who are exercising and eating well, they are less vulnerable to getting down with the disease. Of course, those who are vaccinated and those who are keeping social distance, washing hands and masking are also significantly protected. However, it is not just about masking. It's not just about hand washing with soap and water. It's not just about social distancing. It's also all about your immunity. That's why you find many guys who have comorbidities, maybe cancer, hypertension, and the people who are elderly, because their immunity is not as strong as that of an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old, they are actually being advised to go and get vaccinated first so that their immunity is, solidified and they are taken care of, they're protected. However, over and above doing all these preventive measures, those 3 golden rules and vaccination, it is very important for every Kenyan, every man, to make sure that they are eating well and they are also physically exercising. And as a matter of fact, the people who are physically fit, even if they get COVID, they survive it faster and better than those who have been lying lazy at home.
Right.
You find with COVID-19, people are working from home a lot. People are sitting a lot. People are eating a lot of junk. Every time in the house and you're working on your laptop, you just feel like going to the fridge. Somehow your body finds itself going to the fridge, even without thinking. And you end up putting in a lot of calories, and then you don't burn enough calories. And for you to keep fit, you need to have what we call the caloric deficit, that you're taking in less calories and burning more. And there you can easily shed off excess weight. So you find, if people do not understand how the body works with regards to exercise and COVID-19, then there shall be a problem. So COVID-19 has exposed the fact that we do not focus on health in a wholesome manner. We usually think about health by going to the hospital, but health is all about prevention.
Right.
You need to eat well, take care of yourself. But then, Burali, you'll also find men. Out of every 4 men that commit suicide, 3 of them, out of every 4 people who commit suicide, 3 of them are men.
Yes.
75% of all suicide rates are, men. And in COVID-19 pandemic, I can say in this season, you find many men, and especially the young men who are not married, they're staying at home alone. They end up spending a lot of time on social media and, trying to, while away the time, and they have no one to physically talk to. So you find, if they do not go to exercise to steam off, help their mental health and physical health, then we have a problem. So this is important.
All right. And we'll, of course, we'll touch on, not just touch, we'll discuss mental health. But let me ask one question. You've talked about calories and eating well and exercises. Now, many years ago, to me, exercise was just going to lift weights. But of course, there are certain exercises for certain body parts, for lack of a better word. But let's talk about diet.
Yes.
What are some of the things that we should avoid? Because I'll tell you something. Some of the men who are fearing the vaccine have bought this belief that, if you do the vaccine, your sexual performance will be affected. Yeah. Now, people worry for that. What foods are we supposed to take as men, really, that will help us be healthy? Because you're saying it's good to be healthy. Eat the right foods.
Yes.
Stop snacking and all that.
Yes.
So tell us what we need to eat then for men.
Well, actually, nutrition takes 75% of the whole pie, and working out takes 25%.
Right.
And they are not mutually exclusive, meaning you cannot say, I will only be doing nutrition, IF and keto and all these other new fads, and not do exercise. Again, that's wrong. And again, you can't say that I'll be working out so hard and not eating so that you can take care of yourself. Again, that doesn't work. So they actually working together.
Right.
First of all, to debunk that myth, I've been vaccinated, and I think my performance has not been compromised. And I think I know you two have been vaccinated.
Yes,
and,
I have.
And of course, so you just want to tell the audience, men, go out there and vaccinate. You
will not be affected.
You will not be affected whatsoever. Actually, you'll do much better because you'll be able to breathe better. Because COVID-19 just brings in pneumonia to your lungs. At the end of the day, you're not able to breathe and you can't do so much, and that's how guys die in ICU. So back to your question on nutrition.
Right.
It is 75% nutrition and 25% exercise. So We are used to eating, people always know the three food groups. You need to have ugali, skuma, and mboga. But right
and
now,
meat.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and meat.
Yes.
Yeah. But right now, the nutrition science is growing bigger, and they are even giving us more evidence that we actually have close to 10 food groups. For example, if you look at proteins, we have got meats, we have got red meat and white meat. They all have interesting nutrients there. Yes, it's protein, but they also have other macro and micronutrients. We have got eggs. We also have milk, which is another huge source of protein. So you might be limiting yourself on one particular food diet. For example, you can be saying, I'll be having ugali, skuma, and quota, nyama, and say that you're doing well, but you need to be variating this. Have eggs today, tomorrow you can do the meat, the other day you can do fish. You can also make sure you have nuts in your diet. Nuts are very good. Cashew nuts, almonds, peanuts, name them. The nuts are very good in the sense that they help to fill your stomach. You actually feel fuller, and you're not able to, you don't keep thinking about food all the time.
Snacking
it's
and all
a
that.
very good snack at 10 o'clock, maybe when you're working, when doing workout there. You can snack through nuts, and also at 4 in the evening, so that you can wait to eat at the right time. So nutrition is important. Again, when you talk about vegetables, Burale, we as Africans, you are lucky to have a variety. We have the managus. We have, I don't know which one you have in your home.
Mrenda.
Mrenda is there. Yeah, but interestingly, in the 1960s, guys were actually thinking that cabbages and sukuma wiki, kales, are very good. And people thought that that is the actually standard vegetables to eat. But over time, you have realized that eating things like terere, pumpkin leaves, managu, they're actually more nutritious. Back in the day, 20 years ago, they were looked down upon.
Right.
But right now, you go to a hotel and order for, give me ugali and managu. You actually look sophisticated. But you find the waiters always make you feel you must eat meat all the time. They ask you, when you ask food, what do you have in this hotel? They'll tell you, beef. We have liver, we have fish, and beef. What do you want? Nowadays, people confidently ask for, just give me ugali managu and maybe a glass of milk. So we are encouraging people to have more of veggies and lean protein, and reducing the carbs, especially for those people who work through the computers and sitting down a lot. However, if you are a guy who does heavy casual work, by all means, kula ugali na mkate kabisa. Yeah. But if you are a person who goes to the office most of the time, you're driving most of the time, like matatu drivers, boda drivers, right now the NCDs, non-communicable diseases, are hitting both the rich and the poor. Because when you're on a border, you still find those guys, yes, they work hard and they get tired, but really, what are they doing, Burale? Mm-hmm. You're just sitting on a vibrating machine. So it makes you feel so tired, especially when you go over a bumpy road. But the cholesterol is still lacing up in your, around your heart and your veins. So even the guys doing boda and everybody else, and those who are being carried, previously we didn't have boda guys could even walk for longer distances. Right. But now people are not walking as they were walking before. We have reduced the distances that we have been walking. People are climbing borders, driving to every, even in my estate, I see people driving to very short distances. People have stopped walking. Our culture has become so, can I say, technology has taken shape, and people are becoming lazier and lazier. And I'm not surprised you actually find you have drive-ins in Nairobi. And we want to ape that culture to reduce walking. And when you reduce walking and you're still eating, you find then we have a problem there. Escalators in the shopping malls and all that. And lifts. So we're becoming a very unhealthy people. Very unhealthy. But there's something you said, and allow me just before we go on a break. Yes. I don't know what link it. You said people who work on a computer, people who sit, should avoid cabbages? No, people who sit a lot, working on their computer, should be encouraged to walk more. All right, okay. To walk more. Okay. Yes. As a man, this we are told, and when you say we are told, it's just because I don't know who said it, but it's common belief. Yes. That when a man gets home, because you've been sitting the whole day, you've been driving, you need to be a bit free. Yeah. And what is the essence of that? Because of the warmth within the
private parts of a man. Does that affect a man? Because many men ask.
We are talking about physical health, especially, interestingly, laptops. I wonder why they're called laptops. For those who have not heard, I would actually recommend for them to always make sure that their laptops are not on the laps, but really on
Do they affect
on a
men's,
table.
do they affect men's sexual health?
Of course, the laptop has got a lot of electric,
Yes.
signals
Yes.
and rays, and so it is just good to, shield that area, because that's where you have, that's where your legacy is, and so many other things. You need to keep your generation going. So it is important to also take care of yourselves from, diseases, cancer and others. So it is important for people to use the laptop in the right way. Placing it on the lap, especially for men, is not advised.
No.
But it just be good for you to have it on a table.
Okay.
Yes.
Physical health, physical fitness.
And by the way,
Uh-huh.
you asked about what can help men. For those men who want to perform better, they need to eat pumpkin seeds. And they also need to work out, because when you work out, then blood gets to circulate in all parts of your body.
Okay.
We do not need to go for zinc oxide and Viagra and other things that are killing men, because in fact, I talked to a pharmacist sometimes back, and they're telling me that even very young men are going for these
Yes, sadly.
drugs that are helping them, quote unquote, to perform better. But what they are doing to their bodies, they are actually forcing their bodies to work harder than they should, and by the time they get to their 30s and 40s, they will be so tired and they'll be so dependent on those drugs, and at the end of the day, the heart might even fail. So it is important to use natural mechanisms,
Okay.
and working out, eating well, even
Pumpkin
watermelon.
All right.
Watermelon seeds are very good.
If you're a supplier of watermelon seeds and pumpkin leaves, please get in touch with the All Men Show. We will get men to buy. Well, physical health, physical fitness is of absolute importance. After the break, they said out of every 4 people who commit suicide, 3 are men. There's an issue on mental health. See you after the break. Of course, this is the All Men Show. Well, thank you very much. Of course, if you're joining us, this is the All Men Show, and I'm here with a big man, the coach himself. Coach who?
Ken O.
Ken O on the All Men Show. While we're talking matters, health,
Yes.
mental health, physical health, and of course social health, among other things. We're having a great discussion. Please hang on there rather. Some of you, I think, are already eating pumpkin leaves and watermelon seeds. Well, you told us before we went on a break that 75% of the suicides
Yes.
around the world,
Yes.
men. So there's an issue on mental health.
Very big issue.
And in this season, and I've had the privilege of talking to many men. I'm in a group of men called Muscles, and we have a chat. And we've realized in this season, the COVID season as we call it, men have lost jobs and salary cuts, and then we get to a place we feel, are we good enough to take care of our wives and our children? So the pressure is there. In fact, the ugly head of mental health has reared itself in this season. What do we do? And what are some, because I know you're very passionate about mental health.
Yes.
Please just open your heart and speak to us.
Yeah, thank you, Burale. Yes, the statistics are actually alarming. And even the other day, the police both announced that in a span of 3 months, we have actually had 483 suicides in Kenya.
In 3 months?
Yeah, in the last 3 months. And that means that, that's the police reports anyway. And very many young men are killing themselves. And when you look at mental health is actually looking at the health, the emotional and psychological well-being. And sometimes it also borders on the social health, which we shall talk about later. So you ask yourself, why is it that men are so predisposed to mental health issues? In a country like Japan, you find per day, last time I checked, they were losing 100 people per day to suicide.
What are you talking about?
Actually, one time I went to Japan and I was in the trains, and I realized one very interesting thing. Everyone was seated with a gadget, and everybody was actually, perusing their tablets, with your Walkmans and, all manner of gadgets, phones, laptops. People hardly talk to each other. And I was with a bunch of African guys who we were there for a short course, and we were making a lot of noise. Interestingly, our social capital is very huge. So you find the people who are not able to share their problems and talk about it, then they are more predisposed. Now that's looking at Japan. And by the way, Burale, Japan has actually instituted a ministry for loneliness.
Oh.
Yeah, like an official cabinet post where there's a minister who runs issues of
So somebody comes in,
loneliness,
ladies and gentlemen,
to make sure guys
Honorable Ching Chung Chang, Minister in charge of loneliness.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And that shows that that government is very responsive to the issues of mental health.
Yes.
So I hope one day we shall get there, because for them, I think it is important. And during this pandemic, the suicide rates have actually gone higher. Now, back to Kenya. Kenya spent very little money, and one time Dr. Frank Jenga was saying on TV that we are spending around 15 cents per person on mental health, whereas we need to be spending 250 shillings per capita, per person in this country. So you find we are not investing in mental health. That's why there's no awareness. People think, they usually say everybody's mad, only the degree that matters.
Yes.
That's why some people in Mathare and others actually in households. We need to debunk the social stigma that is there on mental health. All of us, myself and you included, we have all suffered some level of social stress, some level of stress and depression.
That's true.
Everybody has.
Very true.
Just that people are not candid enough or courageous enough to say that, yes, I have this problem. I usually look at my wife when she meets her charmer friends, and as a man, I find it very difficult to find men who I can easily reach out to as quickly as possible. Interestingly, there's this guy who says that Simon Bevy, one of our men in our facilities, a great guy. He says that a man needs brothers to work with and a woman to die for. So you find you need to have a band of brothers. But again, we as men, we are wired to be solo. We are wired to be lone rangers, and that's why we are dying. Remember, genetically we are formed to take a lot of risks. That's why you find even in COVID-19 pandemic, 70% of the people are dying are men, because we are exposed. We're the ones going to work. We're the ones who are doing so many other things out there. And even extreme sports, you find most of the time it's men who go there.
Yes.
So we are so vulnerable to many challenges within the society. Again, if you go to the prisons globally, 80% of those people who are incarcerated in prison are men. Because we try so many things and we want to have a lot of achievements. Sometimes, Burale, I think one of the reasons why men are suffering is, one, because we have not defined a sense of purpose. People commit suicide because of an emptiness and the loneliness that they have. You just wake up and think you are useless. But really, these people are not really useless. They haven't identified why they were born. What were they born to do? What do you wake up to do? What keeps you alive? What's that fire in the belly? But when a man does not realize what that is, then they lose hope and they start running around like headless chicken. So I want to put it to our viewers that, and especially men, that it is very important even to sit under a coach in a mentor like you and identify what purpose do I have in life. Because the only therapy we give to those people who have attempted suicide is to ask them, tomorrow, what are you going to do? We try to give them hope for a day. What are you going to do tomorrow? So that they can look forward to tomorrow. However, can you imagine if you have a long, compelling vision that by like Kenya Vision 2030, a personal vision, this is what I want to do for my family, for my country. When people identify your cause, then the mental health stress is reduced. Again, Burale, you'll find very many men are in the wrong jobs because of the wrong reasons. We chase money more than happiness, which is a lot of money. You find guys will ask you need to keep searching for a job, and probably the job that is less paying could be fulfilling you more. So you are actually happier in a less paying job and you'll be more stressed in a high paying job. That's another factor that people do not want to discuss, because we have a highly commercialized environment in this day and age. So we need to be courageous enough to accept the little battery satisfaction, but you're not saying that people should settle for less.
Right.
I'm actually saying it is important to, look at the pros and cons, looking at your giftings and skill mix and say, yes, maybe this is my job and this is what I love doing. This is the work that I was born to do, and so I should do it, because all men are wired to work. We identify ourselves with work, and when we have a high sense of unemployment in this country, some people argue it's at 17%, others say it's at 40%. The other day, Biden has taken the unemployment rate for US, it's gone down to 5.4%. In Japan, it's around 2.1%. In Africa, we have got a very high sense of unemployment. Of course, the government has a role to play. They have a huge role to play. And that's why you find the issue of employment is actually becoming a very huge campaign agenda, because we have very many young men who are unemployed. Burale, the median age for Kenya is 20. We have got very young men who are being churned out from universities and colleges looking for things to do, but they're not doing. So we need to have people who are courageous enough to talk to these young men and tell them, even if you don't find a formal job, look for a skill, look for a talent, look for something entrepreneurial that you can do and keep yourself busy and build a vision around it. Yes, you can also take a job that is not within your vision, but you're using the money from that job to fuel your vision. Just akin to what Paul was doing in the Bible. He was a tent maker, but at the end of the day, his vision was very clear that he is chasing the gospel, but he's financing this at the same time through tent making.
So fulfillment here is very key.
Very key.
You've said we are lone rangers.
Yes.
Why are men lone rangers? There's somebody watching, and he's saying, you know what, I'm the chairman of the Lone Rangers Club because I'm going through hell and high water,
yes,
but I have nobody to talk to, or I have people around me, but I don't feel I can talk to them because I like being alone when I'm in problems. Why are we Lone Rangers as men?
Very good question. I actually want to refer to a good example of the late Bob Collymore. Right. So sometimes we men, we want to make it and achieve it, and along the ladders as we go higher, that's when you start looking for those old friends. It is very easy for women to make friends, but it's very difficult for a man to make friends.
Right.
When I look at my personal life, for example, I had very many friends in campus. And when I cleared campus, and I think I got so many friends when I was younger because we had a lot of time. We had the luxury of time. You've got all these guys, you're playing games, you're doing classes together, you have a lot of time, talking about dating and everything at that time. And science says, empirical studies say, when a man is 25 years, just after university, the average number of friends they have is 16 to 19. I don't know how it was your time. Mm-hmm. But when we start getting into the rat race, and there's this social pressure that is landing on us in a very big way for you to perform in all ways, not just at home, but the country, the society. Everybody wants the man to be good at everything they do. So you end up looking at, again, the society defines us as, you need to have a lot of money. And that's not what a man is. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's a song that Giuliani sang, Mwanaume sio bicep. And another one said, Mwanaume ni effort. So the social vibrations are telling us all the society thinks about us.
There's a lot of pressure.
We need a different voice to tell us that men can actually find time to make friends and keep them. So we are usually very protective. And like ladies might actually meet today, and after 2 hours, they are talking like old buddies. For men, we are not so sure. What is brother thinking about me? Yeah, will I really talk to you? And you find the men are able to talk when they are shoulder to shoulder and not when they're looking at each other. Like, for example, you need a lot of hubris to meet a man and have a cup of coffee.
Yes.
But it is very easy to meet a man when playing golf or shooting pool or doing something that is physical. That's when men are able to talk. But now, again, the sad fact is, Burale, again, other men want to talk overlooking brown bottles. GK, Guinness Kubwa.
Yes.
And sometimes I do not encourage that kind of behavior. However, there's something interesting to note about the men who meet in the pubs to talk in the evening. And this is something I always challenge the men in the church, like me who is in church. This is one of the challenges I give myself. It is very easy for men who go to K2 and other clubs. The only downside is sometimes you might go and share with your friend there and tell him, there's this girl in the office, and they'll tell you, if your wife is not performing, take that girl. They might give you the wrong advice.
Yes,
but
they are talking anyway.
They are talking.
Right.
On the other hand, it's very easy to reach out to one another and talk, and even have people contributing for funerals and everything. You actually see they have a lot of track.
Yeah.
So those men are trying, but we could still do better and have those men have better conversations, and also have the men who are in church to also start talking, because people are dying because they're not sharing. It is easy for women to have a chama, very difficult for men to have a chama. Like I was saying, from that research, from 16, by the time you're getting to 30, 40, you find the number of friends has reduced. Absolutely. Because you've got no time, but you have got a lot of time to look for money. We have a problem. And Houston, we have a problem here.
Yes.
We just need to create time and meet men. And by the way, I don't know whether you listen to TD Jakes. TD Jakes once said that if you happen to have 2 or 3 solid friends, and Burale, these are the friends who will look out for you, even if you have been taken down by government because of a very huge corruption case or a scandal, something that is so bad. If I am your true friend, Burale, I'll come and see you in jail. Those are true friends. Now, if a man can find, now TD Jakes warns me by saying, if a man can actually find 2 or 3 of those friends, that's a blessed man. Meaning, you don't need an entire population to be under you. You don't need to be in every WhatsApp group to be fulfilled as a man. But you need to have 1 or 2 accountability partners, people who you can share with your challenges at work, your challenges at home, because challenges are always there. Absolutely. So the reason men are dying fast, in fact, research says that men die 6 years younger than women. If you look at the life expectancy of this country, and many countries, women are always higher than the men, because they talk more. And it's only a fool who doesn't change. So we have been wired to do this way, but again, we need to have courage to take initiative and start talking to another man. But the challenge is, when we meet with other men out there, we also enter this trap of comparison. You do not want to say that this is my soft underbelly, this is what I'm going through, because you can see your classmates, those guys who were with you in campus, maybe they are driving or they are doing big things than you, but who knows, maybe they stole.
So the curse of comparison.
It's a big problem upon men. And men who want to make it, and after you've made it, now you're driving a Range Rover, now you want to come back to us. So you lose us along the way. When you're getting your 40, 45, you've made all the money, then you're coming back to see, Burale, you'll actually enjoy a new ride, or a new car, or a new property, or a new achievement, even if it's a golf tournament or sports, anything that men do. If I was with you when you were young, and I've seen you suffering, I've seen you from nothing, and then we get to a given age and I see you achieving big things, do you know you'll actually enjoy that trophy or that reward with that person who has grown with you? So but the mistake we do as men, we leave these friends who knew us when we were nothing, so that when we are something, we want now to go back to them to show them off. And you lost them along the way. So they say, as you climb the ladder, go with those guys, because as you're coming down, you still need them. And that's why men are caged in isolation. And COVID pandemic has just made it worse, because we are not even talking more. We are all on the phones, looking at memes and all these things, and
gossips.
Yeah, and the funny thing about phones, and let me just say this. You know the way people smoke marijuana, and the way people smoke heroin and other drugs. They give you a high. They produce dopamine in the brain.
Yes.
The same way, if you are used to so much social media binging, it also produces similar hormones in the brain. It gives you a feel-good hormone. And people get glued to it. In fact, right now, we are dealing with a crisis amongst the teenagers because they are looking for affirmation in social media. And so that's another thing that is driving us to mental health issues. And people are looking for affirmation in the wrong places. If your wife is affirming you as a man, if your kids are affirming you as your dad, because that's another very good place to release stress, playing with your boys and girls at home. If those are affirming, you do not need the entire world to affirm you.
And fake things on social media.
And fake things on social media.
Wow.
And the blue topic is another thing that
Yes,
contributes a lot of stress.
Of course.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I told you this is the coach himself, Ken O on All Men Show, a man of great wisdom and knowledge, as you can attest to that. After the break, we're going to go deeper. See you. Don't go too far unless you're going for some pumpkin leaves.
Oh, sins?
I'm here with the coach, Ken O on All Men Show. I'm your friend and your coach, Robert Burale. We've talked about physical health. We've touched on mental health, the importance of eating the right foods, and even avoiding some of these artificial medicines to boost us as men in very many areas because they have far-reaching repercussions. Before the break, we touched, of course, on matters mental health. And there's a problem that men have been wired to be lone rangers. Out of every 4 suicides, 3 are men. So it's 75 to 77, upward of 75% of the suicide around the world. What is the problem? Why are men dying 6 years younger than the ladies? The coach is here to debunk, to unpack, and to drive us into the right direction. Men, I hope you're watching. Many are dying in silence. We need somebody to talk to. Even as we climb up the ladder, let's grow with the people who have seen us from the bottom, mid, and growing up. Why are we not talking? Why are we falling for the curse of comparison? Well, today we need to unpack this thing. We need to help men get delivered. It's okay not to be okay, but it's also okay to talk to somebody, but the right people. Stop looking for affirmation in the wrong places. If you have 2 or 3 people who can die with you, and not literally, but you know what I mean, then you are lucky. Coach.
Yes.
I know there are many men who are like, wow, thank God for this guest. Because now you're releasing men to speak and to have close friends. Because it's true, most men only want to appear when they have it.
Mm-hmm.
I will not call you and say, Coach, let's meet her, but sina kakitu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in fact, I have no fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Either we meet somewhere where I can walk, or I'll avoid the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And you've said it's okay. Men need to start talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But before we go on matters social issues,
Mm-hmm.
how can the women help the men in matters mental health? Because I believe they have a part to play.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, they have a huge part to play.
Right.
Yes, they, like referring to that quote, you need a band of brothers to work with and a woman to die for. Every man wants to love a woman. And there are many women in our lives. We have sisters, we have got daughters, we have got mothers. And you'll actually find that many men are very close to their mothers because there are men who confide a lot to their mothers, even more than their wives or friends.
That's true.
Because they believe there's no way the one who brought me to this world can, betray me. Because men are very averse to betrayal. And that is why when a man comes to you, girls, and proposes to you, that man has literally died to self. Going down on one knee and say, will you be my wife? Burale tell you that man has died because he has actually put he has exposed himself.
Yeah.
And we don't take rejection very easily. And one thing I would like to ask the ladies in our lives, and these are the daughters, the sisters, our wives, fiancés, girlfriends, a man has got a huge need for respect. This respect needs to be shown in the home, because the minute you stop respecting a man in the home, that's when you lose him. We actually do not eat food. We eat respect. You know why, Burale? Because I can actually get very good food from a chef in Boma.
Absolutely.
But I might not get very good food served with respect anywhere else. Those people are paid to serve you in that way. But when you get food that is served to you with respect at home, with love from the woman that you really love, then the service is different. It's very different from, say the nanny or the house girl serving you. So we have a huge need for respect. And the minute the ladies will understand that all a man needs you to do is massage his ego a little bit, and you'll have him on your smallest finger. I always give an example, Burale, when a lady, for example, ladies love interior decor, and they come to like this looks very nice. So if you have visitors and maybe have a nice fridge there, you have got a nice TV and everything else, then visitors will come and say, hey, what a good house. And then they tell the lady of the house, good job. You've actually done very well. So the lady can either choose to say, yes, I did it, or say, it's this guy, man, who will give me the support. Yeah. So who do we give credit to? I'm not saying that ladies should give credit to everything on men, but I just use that example to help the ladies understand that all men want is some recognition. Go and chase your career. Go and do whatever you need to do, but the ladies need to just appreciate men. And the other challenge we find, there's a lot of pressure from ladies on men, especially the young ones, the ones who are just about to get married. Ladies, please believe in the dream of your boyfriend. We might not have the man having a BMW, but maybe he has a BMX. So believe that if he has a BMX, he can get your BMW. But the problem we have from the ladies you have in our environment, in this day and age, they want to find cooked goods. They want processed goods. They want finished persons. But I tell my wife, you need to work on me as I work on you. There's no way, and that's why we have the mpango kind of business. Because there are so many ladies who want this. Like, look at you, Burale. You're polished and fine.
Hallelujah.
So I actually think many girls will want to have you, but they do not know the work that has gone to make you who you are. And this support system that is around you. So the ladies out there need to appreciate that a man cannot be just that good. In fact, I remember when my mom and dad were dating, because we talk a lot, she was telling me, when you see your dad this polished, he was not dressing like this. He could actually put on red shirts and all those things when he was young in his 20s. But all along, because of the love and the peer
they're
to
working
peer,
on each other, yes.
They're working with each other, you can see significant improvements. And now young guys would actually will not mind this old man because he looks like old money, but really there was work that was done. So the ladies need to accept men as they are, especially at the formative stages.
Right.
And believe, I find this so funny, Burale. A man comes to a girl and tells her, hey, I have got this dream and vision. And another one will come to the house and, in fact, I've overheard conversations by girls. Hey, you know what? That guy is so sweet. Guess what he did? He cleaned the house. He actually washed the dishes. Oh, this is a very good man. Now, on the flip side, I would actually think that it would be great to praise a man who, guess what? That guy has a vision. He doesn't have a car. But he has a compelling vision. And I think I want to get married with this man.
Because I see where he is going.
But they want to see the now, they don't see the car keys. They want to see the house and all this. And that's what is putting pressure on men. We even get to doing crazy deals, dirty deals, to get money, to please these girls. But if the girls could actually tone it down, then they would help us. Now, let me take this topic deeper. Then who forms this narrative? These girls are actually coming from our homes, where we have got fathers. What are the fathers telling their daughters? They're telling them you need to have 1 master's, 2 masters, you need to have a job before you get married. But men have been given the God-ordained authority to take care of ladies. For example, if I have a job and a girl doesn't have a job, she doesn't have a master's but maybe has graduated, and I want to marry her, by all means she should accept. But their fathers out there were telling them, you will be insecure if you have not secured a job. So they are actually putting a very high premium on jobs rather on the relationship. And you find many girls have lost very good men because of what their fathers and mothers tell them. The value system has been warped because we need to put a very high premium on the relationship,
Right.
on the character, not carrots. I've said that before. And we need to have this conversation with the fathers and mothers, and they need to mentor their girls and tell them, as long as a man is good, he has good character, he's God-fearing, even if he doesn't have money,
But has a vision.
but has a vision. Again, Miles Monroe, the late says, if a man has got no vision, actually the Bible says, don't even eat if you're not working.
Right.
And to girls also, if a man doesn't have a vision, then you need to take time and not get to him. Let him have a vision first, and not money. So we need to re-engineer all these thoughts.
Right.
Yes.
Wow. Men, let's have a vision, not a television. Mr. Ken, Coach Ken, I will not even, why do I call you Mr. Ken?
Yes.
Coach Ken O on the All Men Show.
Yes, sir.
Physical health, mental health, very important. And I know we have just a few more minutes. I mean, time has gone by so quickly.
Yeah.
Talk to us about social health. What is social health?
Social health is defined as the ability to have meaningful relationships
Yes.
and sustain them. I'm always impressed and wowed by the late Bob Collymore, who everybody said he was in a boys' club. And you can imagine the busy schedule that he had. The guy was actually leading one of the biggest blue chips in this country, in East Africa, or even say Africa.
Yes.
But he had time to meet some men and share at their own level. They would share their own problems. And those are the people who he actually wanted to see before he died. And you actually see the people who matter to you when you are on your deathbed. It should not be about how much money you made. And even Steve Jobs has said this in one of his books, that if, on the deathbed, I just want to see my wife, my children, and those friends and family members who matter to you most, and not all the wealth that you are chasing. It is interesting, in 24 hours, Burale, we have got 8 hours for work. So 24 minus 8, that's 16. 8 hours for sleeping, because again, sleeping is very important for mental health, by the way.
Absolutely.
In fact, there was a CEO who was sleeping 4 hours in India some years ago, and he was keeping fit every day, but he just died on the
Yes.
spot just because he never had enough sleep. So whether you're CEO or not, you need to sleep. So 8 hours. So 16 minus 8, 8 hours for sleeping. You have got another 8 hours. Now, so these 8 hours, how do we use them? Because I would like us to look at what I call behavior change, because that's what I look at in from a coaching and behavior change perspective. If you've got 8 hours, let's say you work out for 30 minutes, what do you do with the other 7.5 hours? In the advent of social media, you can actually call even your friends who are out there, networking. Some people argue your social network is your net worth.
Yes.
You people need to network. Not just networking with rich people, but also networking even with neighbors. You'll be so surprised, Burale, some of us don't know their neighbors. In fact, people meet their neighbors the day they've parked behind you, for those who stay in apartments. Or when in an estate, if somebody has parked on your parking slot, then that's when they ring your bell. People know each other at the wrong time. But you find in Ushago, our rural places where we come from, if somebody comes to you and asks for some salt, because they forgot to buy it. They'll tell you even don't get the salt only. Come have a meal. You cook tomorrow.
Yes.
But in Nairobi and other town places you find, I'll look at you as a suspect. Are you a terrorist? You just come to my house to ask for salt? What's wrong with you?
What's your motive?
What's your motive?
You don't remember, Coach Ken, when we
Yes.
used to go to the village many years ago in Busia, there were many houses in the homestead. During supper, we'd go to one house, eat, and then move to the next one,
And eat?
You know, just go all round.
Yes.
And I discovered that makes you very close-knit.
Yeah.
We don't have that now. And of course, I do believe because of that, you would not know somebody's going through hell and high water.
Yes.
I've heard of cases where people have committed suicide. And, or a body was found in a house 10 days later.
Yes.
Yet the person lives in an apartment. It means we don't check on each other.
We do
And I
not.
know because you're running out of time, and I do believe we need to have this great man back here. Just give us very, very quickly, sir, the importance of connection and the dangers of also not having social health. Just very, very quickly. And I believe, and I promise you guys, we shall have him back because you're spewing a lot of wisdom, and we need many, many people to get this information.
On this subject of accountability, I'm very passionate about it, and I thought I need to come up with a solution that is going to help us to be accountable on all the indicators you need to look at under mental health, all the indicators you need to look at under social health, and physical health. For example, under physical health, you need to work out, say, 3 times a week or 5 times a week. You need to work out for a given number of minutes. So the application, which we are launching today,
Yes.
will help you, remind you to work out at the same time every day, sleep at the same time every day, because when you have erratic sleeping modes, then you're not able to have proper mental health.
Tell us about that application.
So the application is called Afia Fit 360
Afia Fit 360.
and looks at, and the 360 is all about completeness, physical health, social health, and mental health. Looking at your health in a sum total manner, because your physical health contributes to your mental health, and your mental health actually is driven by your social health.
Wow.
And that is why we need to schedule, in this busy day and age, we need to schedule times when you meet your friends, your band of brothers. Don't just assume it is erratic. I'll call you when I want. We are too busy.
You have to be intentional.
We have to be, you said it, we have to be intentional to meet those people who matter. You have to be intentional to read good books. Like I see you have good books there. If a man doesn't read, he can't lead. And that's how our mental faculties grow, by reading. So we also need to schedule, you need to read a book at least once a month. And on the application, I'm also allowing you to choose when the days you can be allowed to remember things.
Wow.
And also on mental health, we need to schedule days you can take walks, days you can, read good books and meet
Take it
people.
easy. Okay.
Make it easy.
All
So that's what I'm doing.
Afia Fit 360.
Afia Fit 360, and it will go along with a blog, Healthy Fit 360, to talk about it. Because when people read it, I need to keep educating the audience
Absolutely.
on a blog and on this platform, Afia Fit 360. And the websites are there, and you can always reach me, and we can have these conversations more and more. And so today being my birthday, this is the gift I can give to humanity, because I've been gifted a lot, and for purpose, we say for you to find your purpose, you need to find what you can give to people, serve people, and not what you are receiving.
From that. Okay. Coach Ken O, if you could choose your nickname, what would it be?
Ken O, okay.
What is your best Kenyan song and why?
Masterpiece by Giuliani.
What have you done that you're most proud of?
Yeah, fathering 3 kids, growing them.
What is your favorite Bible verse?
Proverbs 16:1.
How old were you when you had the worst haircut ever? And what style was it?
I think this was last year during COVID. There was no barber shop, so I had to use it on, shave myself in the house. It was pathetic.
What advice did you get that was the most rewarding?
By my dad, when he told me, when I was making a decision to marry my wife, he told me, Ken, even if you don't marry this girl, go for another one, you still get a new set of problems. Best advice ever by my dad.
If you could change one thing about your looks, what would it be?
I'll grow hair on my on my head.
What is your least favorite type of music?
Jazz and classic. I don't find it fancy.
If you're a superhero, what would your powers be?
I could move days and weeks and traffic jam in Nairobi.
Your favorite meal and why?
Ugali, managu, and omena. I just find it very nice. Especially if my wife has made the omena.
Fantastic. Milk or maziwa lala?
Maziwa lala.
Manchester United or Arsenal?
Manchester United.
Thank you, Mr. Coach Ken O.
Pleasure's all mine.
Here at the All Men Show, on my own behalf, of the crew, the producer, and everybody else, would like to take this opportunity to wish you a happy, happy, happy birthday, and may the Lord just bless you and take you to another level. As you help people, may God open more doors as you change lives the way you have changed lives for our viewers. It's Afia 360.
Afia Fit 360.
Afia Fit 360 and Health.
The blog
is Health Fit.
Health Fit 360.
Health Fit 360 is the blog. Afia Fit 360 is the application. Please, this is the All Men Show. I am Coach Robert Burale, and I've had a great time with Coach Ken O. See you next week.